All right, back again, back again. So today we're going to talk about these Browns. Now, you got to shout out Denzel Ward and Grant Delpit. So, in the middle of the week, these two signed extensions who stayed with the Cleveland Browns. They're showing their commitment, their love, and they're willing to continue to thrive with this team. Denzel Ward has been a Pro Bowl for many years, Ohio guy as well. So this definitely means a lot to the city and the Cleveland Browns organization. So he signed a 2-year deal, $62 million, $53.3 million guaranteed. So that's dope. I really like that they locked this in. And they did the same thing with Grant Delpit as well, because no one seen this coming. Because everybody thought that there was a chance that we was going to probably trade Denzel Ward because of the Myles Garrett trade. And a lot of people was looking at, they might be looking to blow it up with the veterans that we had. But we're not going that route, because there's a lot of fans around here that's thinking like, okay, we starting from scratch a little bit. But I believe the Cleveland Browns are still doing everything they can to win and win now. You got the new stadium coming in Brook Park in the next couple of years. I just don't see them, starting completely from scratch. Based off the draft, they drafted very well. I believe the best in the last few years. You finally get 2 wide receivers that's worth drafting, and KC and Denzel Boston. You get someone else for the O-line. You get, more tight ends. Even another quarterback that I like coming out of the draft. So you did everything that you were supposed to do to still put yourself in a win-now situation. You kept Jerry Jeudy as well. So I'm not quite sleeping on the Browns going into this next season. There's no guarantees that we'll win 10-plus games. I honestly having us winning anywhere between 8 to 10, but it's a lot of question marks. A lot of question marks around what the defense going to look like, what the offensive line going to look like, what the wide receivers are going to look like, and also the quarterback position, which is a very important position. And then we are working with a new head coach at Todd Monken. But I have faith in these guys that they can honestly win more than 8 games. And if they do, it's not going to be a shock or a surprise to me. So again, signed Grant Delpit, $35 million guaranteed. This is pretty good. I like this for $16 million a year. Now, let's get to this quarterback conversation. Now, right now, there's a quarterback battle in training camp between Watson, Shedeur, Gabriel, and apologize for the other quarterback. I forgot his name. Let me look at this real quick, because I know we just drafted him. Okay, quarterback. Let me just go to Cleveland Browns. Now, I'm going to definitely give my thoughts on this whole QB. Green. Exactly, Green. So this is day 2 tracker. If I find day 1, I will show it as well. So day 2, we have Sanders 14 for 24, Watson 16 for 22, Gabriel 10 for 11, Green 6 for 6. Now we all know, of course, and there's nothing towards Gabriel and Green. They're not starting at all. They're not going to be QB1 or QB2. It's going to be between Sanders and Watson. Now, this is my thoughts on the quarterback position for the Cleveland Browns. A lot of people are getting hyped up because of the day, because this is day 2 QB tracker. Let's see, can I find the day 1 QB tracker? Here we go. This is day 1. Sanders was 16 for 19, Watson was 12 for 22, Gabriel 7-9, Green 3-5. 2 interceptions for Watson. They show no touchdown interceptions for Sanders. Gabriel 1 interception. Now, a lot of Browns fans are getting hyped up, saying so far Sanders had a little bit better QB tracker because of the 16-19 no interceptions. Watson, let me remind you, this is the first time he's really getting out there since coming back from Achilles. So, And it's a new system as well. We no longer have Kevin Stefanski. We have Todd Monken now. So they're looking at the 12 of 22, 2 interceptions. But I'm here to tell Browns fans, I would not get my hopes up and energy up believing because of the day one QB tracker that Sanders is going to be named QB1. We have to understand, don't get me wrong, even though it's practice, it's still just training camp right now. We haven't even gotten to the preseason games. Okay? I believe it's going to boil down to what these guys look like in the preseason games. But with all that said, I still have a strong gut feeling if they play close to the same in preseason game, Watts is going to be named starter. People have to understand, yes, it's football, but not only is it football, it's also a business. They paid Watson a lot of money. He played in Kevin Stefanski's system that honestly did not fit him. This is something I said going into bringing in Watson. I always said he did not fit Kevin's system. Is there a strong chance we should have got rid of Kevin a long time ago? Yes. I've been said that. I've been calling for Kevin to be gone because I believe he truly did not fit Cleveland, period, as a head coach and leader, and as his team as a head coach and leader. And it proved the way Watson was out there trying his hardest to figure out something on that offense, running around scrambling all the time because Kevin's offense did not fit him. And let's be honest, Kevin Stefanski's offense wasn't good for quite a few quarterbacks. We was not thriving with nobody except for Joe Flacco, and it was only towards the end of that year after Watson went out with a shoulder injury. That's it. When we brought Joe back the following year, it was cooked. So we have to be honest. No one really truly fitted his system to equal success for this city and this team and this offense. So I do believe that Watson still is going to end up being a starter. They paid him too much money, and these guys can't play close to the same in training camp or the preseason games. In order for Sanders to get this position over Watson, he has to be far better than him. But I just don't see that happening. I believe their stats far as at least the training camp, I can't speak for preseason yet, but far as the training camp, I believe is going to be close to the same. There's a reason why they didn't show any touchdowns and interceptions for day 2 tracker. But as far as business-wise, they're going to end up starting Watson, in my opinion, because you're going to go out there, put him with a new system after the injury, and with some more receivers, a different O-line as well, and see what he can still do for the money you paid him. Then if he don't look great at all, then they remove him in a few games in, maybe 6 games in, and replace him with Sanders. It's no harm to seeing what Watson can do these first few games at all. It's not killing you because it's not mandatory for us to make the playoffs this year. This is a wait and see type of year. This is a testing phase year, but at the same time, they still do want to win. And it can happen. Starting Watson the first 4 or 6 games, see what he give you in this new system, it will honestly tell you if he still has something left in him. We also do have to remember the guy's only 30 years old. This guy is not like no 35-year-old quarterback coming back from Achilles, still trying to figure it out. He's still 30. He's still young. He's 30. He's not old. So, again, Browns fans, don't get your hopes up. At the end of the day, Sanders going into year 2. It's not mandatory for him to go out and be a starting quarterback right now. Okay? He was drafted 5th round. There's a lot of reasons around him potentially being drafted, 5th round. We truly may not know the answers. Some people say because his dad. Some say because his ego or maybe, his personality. I don't know. It could be because they were just hating. There are a lot of haters out there, especially when it comes to Black people that's as talented as this, who was raised already rich, but they don't look at it the same for white Americans. We all know that. There's a lot of reasons around that whole situation, but I don't believe that the Cleveland Browns is making it mandatory for Sanders to be the guy right now unless Watson go out there and he fails so badly to then you make Sanders the guy. I believe it's okay to have Sanders still as the QB2. But like I said, this is all going to boil down to those preseason games, those first 2 preseason games, and see what these guys look like out there against other defenses. And the joint practices matter as well, because the Browns do have a joint practice for training camp as well. So we will definitely get into this more with this QB situation as training camp goes on and preseason getting ready to start up. Now, I'm not mad regardless who they start between Sanders and Watson's. I'm not tripping about it. I do believe Watson deserves a fair chance to see what he looks like outside of Kevin's system. That's just my take. But as the season goes on and training camp goes on, we're going to see what everything look like. I'm definitely hyped up to see what Denzel, Boston, and KC looks like. I've always been high on Cleveland getting the right wide receivers for a very good offense. This is something that the Cleveland Browns did not focus on in the past few years at all. And it could have honestly been because of Kevin and what he wanted. It seemed like he didn't really care for the wide receiver positions at the time. But I don't know, maybe we might see something a lot better with Todd Monken, and I'm definitely looking forward to.